down here in, God, in Midtown. But I'm down here because I'm actually attending a memorial service for Bob Smith. And I don't know if people know who he is, but you should. Bob Smith is a giant in comedy. He, or was. He was the first openly gay comic to perform on The Tonight Show. Anyway, he died, and after a terrible bout with ASL, which is just a dreadful, dreadful disease. But true to how amazing he was, his final book that he wrote the entire thing using one finger on an iPad. Can you imagine that? One finger, one letter at a time, he wrote his final book. Anyway, I didn't know Bob well myself. In fact, we only met a couple times. But I know him through several other friends, and specifically my husband, I know. Jack had a friend and roommate in college at SUNY Purchase named Tom, and Tom was a boyfriend of Bob's back then, and that became sort of a connector. Anyway, I have a great respect for all of Bob's friends, and also the mark that he left on comedy, not just for gay comics, but for all comedy. He didn't play Blue. he did do some sex jokes, but he wasn't raunchy. He was kind of a family comedian. Anyway, his memorial is going to be over there at Caroline's, and I'm very happy that they did invite me to come to it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and of course Caroline's is such a great comedy spot. So I'll probably check in again. I don't think I'm going to be videoing during the performances, but we're hoping to see people like Judy Gold and maybe Elvira Kurt. That'd be great. I think I saw that Frank DeCaro is going to be in there. So going to go in and have ourselves a few laughs. We are at Caroline's, and we are, and isn't this great? They have a sign up here for celebration of Bob Smith. Isn't that great? Anyway, so I'm gonna go in and enjoy this. Just got back from this remarkable memorial celebration for comedian Bob Smith. He just was a truly remarkable man, and being so much more than being a comedian. He was an author. He wrote all these books, and a lot of people got up and read from them, and they were just terrific. And I would urge anybody to look up on Amazon, or to go to your local bookstore and see if you can find any of his books. I know you can find them, but get them, read them. They're just terrific. But it was so remarkable to watch this many people gathered, and yes, some of them were famous people, certainly within the comedy, the comedy world, and even played a lovely message from Jay Leno, which was just very sweet. But it just made me think about a lot of things. I know I've had all these death things to talk about on these videos, and I don't mean that to be, and it actually gave me a thought that maybe I'll just get all of the death things out of my system, and talk about all of these things, and maybe just truly lay them to rest. But one of the things that struck me was two different things, actually. One was if you've ever heard the idea that one of the ways to get into heaven is to be a good matchmaker, and if you've been successful at pairing a couple up, 3 times, it secures your place in heaven. And then the other thing is that if you do happen to have a pairing that is successful, then that pairing is probably Bashert, that is meant to be, they are soulmates, you just helped get them together. Well, hearing about all these things and seeing this group of people who were together as a family, not just by blood, there were a few people mentioned who were by blood, but the people who spoke were family by choice, people that they met. And I was thinking about what cosmic person, or was there one person who was the matchmaker that brought all of them together as Bashert? Meant to be, that they were so connected by their souls. And I thought about it and thought that maybe that person is one amongst them. Maybe Bob Smith was that person that brought them all together to realize that as a group they were Bashert. And maybe that secured his place in heaven. Maybe. Or maybe that's just trying to make, folklore true. But it certainly was a wonderful thing to witness. So, very impressed, very grateful that my friend Eddie, who was one of Bob's closest friends, invited me to come to this because it was just remarkable. Bob Smith was clearly a great man by all accounts. So go get his books.